So if you're on the left, you're much more invested in moral categories such as racism, sexism, ageism, ableism, homophobia, and the like. And your moral focus is on society, not just your own individual behavior. And so your locus of control is outside of yourself. And this precipitates people to mental health problems such as depression and anxiety. And so the prospect of Donald Trump winning is filling millions of American leftists with great apprehension and anxiety. And if Donald Trump does win, right, they will be plunged into debilitating depression, right? Many of them will be unable to show up to work. If they do show up to work, they'll be crying. They're going to fall apart. They are used to the left running almost all of our institutions, right? They're used to the liberal left hero system being the dominant hero system in society. And so with the rise of Donald Trump and more importantly, the rise of a counter elite that doesn't accept the liberal left hero system. And so I notice in my own conversations with leftists, when I mentioned that the moral category of racism is simply made up, that there's no such moral sin as racism, is something that's made up in the last 100 years, particularly in the last 60 years, doesn't have any resonance with reality or with history, that none of the great moral thinkers in history were concerned about racism. They are just speechless. They don't know what to do with that. They don't know how to interact with it. They don't know how to counter it. They just look lost at sea. Just like someone from a strongly identifying Amish in-group who is out of his group and trying to make his way in New York City is going to feel lost. And so there was an article in the Washington Post yesterday, 8 occasions when you should not forgive. And one of the occasions it listed for why you should not forgive is if someone has committed an infraction of racism, sexism, ageism, ableism, homophobia, Islamophobia, and the like against you. That you should not forgive that because you are standing up for the moral categories of racism, ageism, sexism, etc. I was just thinking, what an incredibly self-destructive way to live. So the best definition of forgiveness that I find works in real life is that it's simply a decision to release, right? It's simply a decision to stop obsessing over something. It's a decision to stop replaying a hurt that somebody has done to you. It is a decision to release your desire to enforce unenforceable rules.